We are here at South 40 Farm, which is a beautiful harvest host that Loretta found us. Jeff and Ann have been fantastic hosts, and while we were here, we realized we've hit a major milestone in our RV life.
That's right. It has been a whole year.
One year living in the RV.
Yes.
400 square feet.
We haven't killed each other.
24/7. We've only been divorced, what, like seven or eight
times. Nobody's been left at a truck stop.
No, you made it the whole season. Holy cow.
I still haven't seen a Buc-ee's bathroom. He still refuses to stop.
But so one thing that we want to talk to you guys about is, what has that 1 year been like?
Yeah, I mean...
And I know there's a million of these videos out there, so why should you watch ours? You shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
You should watch all
of them. All of them.
Everybody's 1 year review is going to be a little bit different. Everybody comes from a different point in life into the RV life.
That's right. There's a different budget. There's a different reason that you're doing it. There's all kinds of differences. So you shouldn't just watch ours. Watch ours and watch everybody's.
Yeah.
We watched lots.
We watched Keep Your Daydream,
Finding Your Someday.
Like the list is endless.
Yeah.
Like we spent hours upon hours on YouTube figuring out how to even RV. So one of the things...
I'm glad we figured that out.
I mean, we're still working on it in some ways. So, it's kind of like getting out of high school to go back to third grade sometimes.
So, yeah, sometimes it really is. But it's been a huge learning experience, and we love every second of it.
Right.
But we don't love every second of it. So we wanted to kind of go over that stuff with you, let you know.
Some of the things that went right, some of the things went wrong. Like, for example, we have way too much clothing.
Yeah, which I never thought that I would say this, and I got rid of and donated so many clothes before we hit the road. But we still have too much. We still have too much. You know, how many t-shirts do you really wear? I mean, I had read an article long before when we first started looking into this, and it was a gentleman in a van, and he said he had the rule of 10. 10 t-shirts, 10 pair of pants.
Oh, I remember that.
10 underwear, 10 pairs of socks.
She was like, what is this
And I'm
idiot
like, what is
talking
he talking about? And I'm like, forget it. He's in a van. We can definitely fit more than that.
Yeah.
Yes, we can fit more than that.
We have an entire bedroom and closets.
Right. Can we fit it?
Yeah.
Yes. Do we need it?
No.
No.
You know how many pairs of pants I've worn in the last month? 2.
Do you know what he found in his closet just last week? 2 pair of jeans that still have the tags on them. You don't need that much clothes. You need a couple pairs of shorts. You need a couple t-shirts. You need, like for me, I have a couple sundresses that I wear. We need our golf outfits.
Right. You don't need all of your sweatshirts in your closet.
No.
Take your most comfortable 2, keep those, get rid of them.
And get rid of the rest. And here's the other thing, when you stop someplace and you want to patronize their business, or like I bought this hat. We bought t-shirts when we were at the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum. Well, if you have a full closet of clothes, now you don't have a place to put this new t-shirt that you really wanted and that you're really gonna wear. Now it's kind of like, okay, I had to throw something out to put this in here. If you'd started off with less,
and there are shirts in my closet that I will tell you that I haven't pulled out once since I moved into the RV.
So that's actually on our list, is to binge the clothes.
Get rid of that, open up some closet space.
Right.
And then another thing that hasn't exactly gone right is we are way over budget.
Yeah, we started out, we had a really good budget.
Yeah, and we thought we were pretty realistic with it, because like we budgeted the business, we budgeted the house, we helped our son set up his budget.
Right. We're really good actually at budgeting. And
we're also really good at blowing a budget, believe
evidently.
it or not.
So we hit the road, and it's kind of like we forgot how to balance a checkbook. I mean, it hasn't been that bad, but we definitely have not paid as close attention to our budget as we should have.
No.
However, I will say this. Neither of us regret any of the things that we've done. So
no.
Parts of the reasons that we're over budget are our fault, and parts of it are just, fuel.
Right. So expenses in this industry has gone up.
Has increased.
But that aside, we met another couple, Chris and Kelly, while we were down in Florida.
Yeah.
And they've been doing the RV life for a while now.
Yeah, they reached their 1 year mark right before we met them.
Right, so they're out in Wyoming now doing a work camper program, and they're loving it out there. The views from the pictures they're sending are amazing. But one of the things that Kelly said when we were hanging out at the pool one day really stuck with us, and it like kind of slapped us in the face, is like, you don't have to do all the things. You can come back.
Right.
So that's what kind of happened to us. It's where we kind of went over budget and realized it is like we were
trying to cram everything
into the week that we're here. We got to go on the airboat ride, and we got to do the alligator tour, and we got to do this, and we got to do that. Well, you It's all stuff we wanted to do, and we can do that. Some of it today, and then some the next time we come, because now the next time we come to Florida,
we have an idea,
and
right?
We have an idea,
right? And I think when we've learned and gotten a lot better at that as we've gone along. When we first landed in Florida, we were like gung-ho to do all of the things, and then Chris
dog
and
off the
Kelly,
chain. Like it kind of felt like we got out of prison. No more 9 to 5, no more mowing the lawn, no more.
There was no time schedule, and we were just like Doug said, dogs off the chain, and we just ran, and we tried to cram everything in, and then you really felt like you didn't experience anything.
Yeah, kind of rushed through too much of it.
Through it.
So that would be one of our words of advice. Would be slow it down.
Slow down. Definitely slow down, because like Kelly said, you can come back, learn to just chill.
Right, which
chill.
It helps keep your budget in check.
Yes.
The fuel, there's not much you can do about that. You can, however, sign up for fleet cards. Like we have a big diesel truck, it sucks it down, even though it's a pretty good, powerful truck and pulls our camper decent. It does still get 9 miles to the gallon when it's pulling the camper.
And
you can join for a fleet card, and then you can pull up to the big boy fuel islands with all the big trucks that fill faster, and a lot of times they give you a significant discount. Like, I'm talking like 80 cents a gallon discount.
So my advice on that one is to do your research and poke around. You might not qualify for some, but you might for others.
Some you have to be part of a specific camper club like we are.
But there's so many out there, and a lot of options. So you got to kind of poke around and find one that's going to work for you.
Cost of campsites has gone up
significantly.
When we were first talking about this daydream of ours, we're going to go out west and we're going to do a lot of boondocking and BLM land in middle of nowhere, just us from horizon to horizon. This is now our third stop
boondocking in 6 months on the road. Part of that is that we have just been so driven and destination based. And shame on us.
If you saw episode 3, we had some trouble with the boondocking.
So we kind of got a little
shied away from it.
Yeah.
And, with the temperatures and having the dog in the camper, we didn't want to run risks and stuff like that. So we played it overly safe for the dog's safety.
But then
we spent the last couple weeks getting some of those things sorted out. So now we're dipping our toes in the water again, and really glad we did, because we found
that's how we found this. But then at the same time, the cost of camping has gone up. Like campgrounds, when we first started talking about doing this, you could go to a state park for anywhere from $15 to $25 a night, and right now you can't. You cannot stay at a state park, or at least not any of the ones that we have found, for less than $20 a night. So I know that's still within the range, but they're upwards of $40 a night at some of the state parks as well. So
depending on the amenities and stuff like that you have.
That you're getting at the park. And I don't just mean your hookups, I mean what the park has to offer. If they have a pool, they're charging more for the sites. If if they're right next to a big attraction town or something, they're charging more. And I'm not hating on the state for doing that. It's just that it has increased our budget. So
to help negate that, Harvest Host was about $100 for the year?
Yep, I think Harvest Host was $80 for the year. So we do that, and then we just recently, Harvest Host and Boondockers Welcome joined forces, and they joined their merged. They merged. Thank you. But so we got a discounted rate to join Boondockers Welcome, which is homes, like people's homes that will allow you to stay. Harvest Host is more businesses. So
it is like $80 for the year, but I figure that's 2 nights of camping, and you can set up as many nights as you want. So that noise you just heard was the door cracking, because Buster decided to come give us a visit because he wanted some petting, and Buster is a snuggle bug, and now he's going to yell at me because I stopped petting him in the middle of our video. So I told him if he's going to hang out with us, I'll keep petting him, but he's going to be in our video. So, which leads us to another one of our points on the 1 year. You're going to have to be flexible.
Yes.
Like, things are just not going to go to plan.
No, you're going to try to boondock and have generator issues or.
Right. Let's go hang out by the tractor, Buster. Come on. So, generator issues, boondocking. I'll see, Buster. All right, I guess he didn't want to hang out with us no more. So, you're going to have issues that things just aren't going to work out. You're going to plan on going boondocking, then your generator's going to fail and your batteries aren't going to charge. So, you're going to have to go to a place where you can plug in. you're gonna have to be flexible. One of the biggest things, which hasn't really affected us too many times, is traffic.
Yeah,
Like-
we're pretty fortunate in that Doug gets up before dawn.
I wake the roosters up.
So when we know that we have a decent travel day, if we're able to check in early, or if they have an earlier check-in time, we tend to get on the road fairly early, but we have hit some traffic.
There's been times where we've sat on the road for the 4 hours that we were supposed to be on the road and then had to drive the 4 hours.
Correct. So you have to be flexible. I mean, we've just learned to just kind of laugh it off. It happens. It happens, and
it's part of the adventure.
It's part of the adventure. It is. You know, not all adventures are grand.
No.
But you know what? You always have a story.
That you do, and that is the coolest thing.
Something that we learned early on in the Suburban is that the adventure starts the moment you start thinking about the trip, and it doesn't end until after you're home. But and you just have to go with the flow. You just have to go with the flow.
Lots of times you got to go with the flow.
Yeah. I mean, we had how many tornadoes?
3. I mean, if you our first 3 episodes, I mean, you guys saw it.
And that's not including when we were still stationary in New Jersey, living in the RV.
Yeah, that was so the
we had 2 there.
in New Jersey we don't get tornadoes. They don't happen. Our very first night of living in the RV, sold the house, moved into the RV, pulled into our campground, set up, met our new neighbors Corey and Daz. Awesome, we're hanging out. Phones go off. Tornado warning. There's a tornado 10 miles. Less than 10 miles from our first RV. So said that night, I hope this isn't a sign for how things are going to go. Turns out it was.
It was. We had 3 in a matter of 2 weeks, I think.
Yes. And that actually has led us to a little bit of a safety thing. Every time we get somewhere, I do it more than Loretta because I'm just programmed that way. I try to figure out where I'm going to go in an emergency, a tornado, flood, whatever, because if you're new to an area, you don't know if you're in the low-lying area or tornado-prone, high winds, or whatever. You have an out route.
Right.
Because you never know. Like, the weather can do stupid things, crazy things real fast, and you might have to leave in a hurry. Better to have a pre-plan on where you're going.
We tend to just find the Walmart, the closest Walmart.
Aim at the closest Walmart, because you can leave your rig and go to the Walmart, get inside a nice big building and get shelter, which I think we did that in like episode 3 or 4, I don't know, one of them. You'll see it. Go back and watch the whole season. But one of the other things that we've been doing to kind of offset some of the higher fuel costs and stuff like that has been to just stay longer at places.
Right. If we're not pulling the camper, it's the fuel efficiency goes up. So,
right.
And it gives us an opportunity to see a little bit more. And again, I'm not talking about spending money. I'm just saying seeing more of the things.
Right. If your budget is, say, $400 for the week and it costs you $150 to drive 4 hours, you can kind of offset some of your drive time by staying a little bit longer.
Right.
And then if the campground rate is low enough, then it stretches your budget out. You're still going to drive that same 4 hours, but you kind of spread that 4-hour drive over 2 weeks worth of budget instead of every couple of days and chewing through your budget.
Right.
And like Loretta was saying, because you have time to actually really dig deep and explore an area.
Right. You get to, for us, it's a lot of hiking and outdoor stuff we like to do. We were able to pull the kayaks out when we stay someplace longer.
Right.
The fishing poles. We were able to do these things that we really wanted to do, but when we were only there for a week, we kind of feel like, oh, we're trying to run into town to check out this museum or check out this, place. And so we weren't doing all of the outdoor things that we wanted to do because, again, you don't have to do all of the things. So it's still something that we're trying to learn, but we have pulled out the kayaks. We have pulled out the fishing poles. We have been able to do some of these things now because we're staying a little bit longer and we're keeping focused on the fact that you don't have to do all of the things.
Focusing more on the stuff that we wanted to do rather than doing the doing.
Right. You know what else is really expensive that we really didn't think about? I mean, I think we thought about it a little because we decided to sacrifice it for Lagatha to have her own bedroom.
We didn't decide to.
I decided, and Doug just ran with it.
Turns out it was a good.
It was, but the cost of laundry.
Yeah.
It fluctuates no matter where you go. I mean, we've been places where it's $1 to wash, $1 to dry per load, and then we've been other places where it's $4 to wash and $4 to dry. So
we've been places where it was $40 to get the laundry done.
Right. So that's kind of thrown us off budget a lot too.
I'd say we should just camp at nudist resorts, and then it doesn't matter. But I guess that's on our OnlyFans. We'd have to stop the YouTube. But so like, one of the things that we've heard from multiple people is that those single washer-dryer combo are useless. So
Right.
I wanted one. I figured, hey, we're going to be living this thing. We should have everything that we need on board. Loretta said, no, it'd be a good spot for the dog's room. Turns out she made the better call because everyone that we've talked to said they're
Not worth it.
Not
worth it.
at all. So.
So it's not a bad thing. It ended up giving us more closet space and Lagertha a bedroom.
Which then kind of ties into the amenities in the camper. So.
And the camper itself.
And the camper itself. So Loretta has always had a big kitchen.
Yeah, very fortunate in that regard.
And we have never spent 24/7 together other than like when we were like 16.
And going on vacation for a week,
stuff
but this is going to be long term.
Right. We've always had a job and a firehouse and
whatever.
Baseball practice, football practice, whatever. Everything that we never spent 24/7 together. So one of the things that we're talking about was having a big camper so that we had 3 separate rooms. Or
Right.
like you guys have seen our walkthrough video, it's a pretty big camper. So if we're annoying each other, we can be in separate rooms.
Right. It happens. It happens. It's just part of life. It doesn't mean we're looking to get divorced. It just means we're kind of getting on each other's nerves.
Right.
So we have, when we started this off, we wanted 3 separate spaces. We wanted a bedroom, we wanted a kitchen, we wanted a living room. What we didn't think about outside is
part of your space.
Part of your space.
Right.
We didn't need a camper the size of the camper we have.
No, because believe it or not, even though we have this giant kitchen, which is awesome on those rainy days when we're with a group or we've made friends and we're all looking for a spot to hang out, play cards, stuff like that, comes in really handy.
Yes.
You know where it comes in really, what is the opposite of handy?
Not handy?
Not handy, right. Yeah, so really not handy when you're trying to book a national park.
Right. So some
Our camper won't fit in Yellowstone.
No, so...
Which is on our schedule for 2 months from now.
Right. So we have to stay outside of the park because our camper is too big. And there's several national parks that have height
size
and size restrictions,
so that's can come in.
Right. Plus, not just national parks, but some of the campgrounds that we found, like even just recently, we found campgrounds for Memorial Day weekend, but then they had sites available, but nothing that would fit our size.
Right.
So we were too big for that. Some of the harvest hosts, they have restrictions. If you're parking in a small parking lot, there's restrictions.
Right.
You might only be able to be 30.
It's not going to fit where they usually park Priuses.
Right. So there's you have to take things like that into consideration.
It's a very fine line balancing point on what you need in your camper versus what you're looking to do with it, where you're looking to go. There's no right or wrong answer. It doesn't matter which one you buy. Some days it's going to be perfect. Some days you're going to hate the damn thing.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much money you spend on it. It's built like crap.
And there's days, like Doug just said, you're going to hate it. You're going to hate it. You're going to wonder why you bought this thing. But it's just all part of it. We love our Montana for the most part.
Right.
But it's really big. It's really, really big, and we do not need.
I voted for a smaller camper.
We do not need this much space.
No, and we don't need such a giant kitchen either, because most nights we cook outside.
We cook outside. Why do we cook outside most nights? Because we were following 70 degrees.
And for the most
gorgeous.
Part, for the most part, it's usually pretty nice out where we're at. We're just in the middle of a heat wave right here where we happen to be at.
But so we cook outside because why would I want to heat up the camper inside? If it's been cool enough that the ACs don't need to run, why would I want to heat up the kitchen to then have to turn the ACs on? So we do a lot of cooking outside.
So that's something that you're going to need to think about too. So like, are you going to be doing all your cooking inside or a lot of cooking outside? So
and is it worth an outdoor kitchen or is it easier to get a grill?
Right. So and then the grills, you have options too. Like we've had the big Skillet, the 2-burner Skillet Camp Chef, which was awesome when we were doing big group camping, weekend warriors like we used to be. We'd go out with our big group of friends. We've got 4 or 5 grills set up. We all just set up an assembly line. Everybody gets breakfast in and out in an hour. When it's just the 2 of us, that's a lot of grill to set up for like cooking 2 steaks.
It really is when you only kind of need 1 burner.
Right. So we've got a smaller tabletop Camp Chef. So not sure what just happened there. Our camera just shut itself off. Not sure where it stopped recording. All right, it just did it again. So I don't know if that's a sign that you guys just don't want to watch this video or the GoPro.
Or maybe we just rambled too much.
Yeah, or maybe the GoPro just like, listen, I am done. Like you guys would just put me down. So either way.
Camp Chef.
So the Camp Chef, right. So
We had a giant one.
We had a giant one. Love it. I can't say one or the other I like more. I like them both in different situations.
Correct.
If you're doing a lot of big group camping, I love my big Skillet one.
It's amazing. We love it, but it's a lot to set up.
The one that we pull out every night is the little tabletop.
2-burner, like a stove would be, and I can put my pots right on it. It's perfect. It's great.
Pot, frying pan.
Right, and it's great. We use that almost
just about daily.
Just about daily. It doesn't matter, and it's easy in and out. It's easy to pull out. We throw it on the table, connect the propane bottle, and that's the end of it.
Another awesome thing that we have in the kitchen that we don't pull out as much anymore, but our buddy John turned us on to it, and is a little electric skillet. Cooking bacon in a camper.
It's the greasiest.
It's the nastiest thing. Yeah, you're never getting that bacon grease smoke out of your camper. It's gonna be all over everything. You're gonna spend a whole weekend that you were out doing something awesome, scrubbing the cabinet.
Right, so instead.
Get that electric skillet outside on a table, cook your bacon outside. Or you could cheat like we do, throw it in the air fryer. Then the whole house smells like bacon, but it's not all over everything.
So what else?
But that's the thing, is there's options on your appliances. You don't have to just plan on cooking inside, because then you're gonna heat up the inside on these summer days. Your air conditioner has to work harder. There's stuff that you can do outside. Another thing to consider is, like, a lot of campgrounds have Wi-Fi now. They don't have Wi-Fi that you're gonna have all 15 of your tablets in your camper stream and your Roku, your Fire Stick, your computer.
In fact, a lot of places, the campgrounds will tell you, oh, you can get Wi-Fi
you can check your email,
to check your email, but
it's not gonna stream. So one of the things that we got was our own Wi-Fi router. It's not a hotspot, but it's actual 4G
router.
T-Mobile router. We'll put a link in the description for you. It works, I would say 90% of the time.
Yes, and between that and our cell phones.
Yeah, we have AT&T phones, T-Mobile router, and 99% of the time we've got coverage. The only time that we don't is if we have absolutely no cell phone service at all.
At all. But that's something that you need to take into consideration if Wi-Fi is important for working at home, or if that's what keeps the kids occupied on a rainy day, then that's something you're going to need to consider.
We happen to stream a lot of movies. Like, we have a Roku, and we watch our Philo TV shows all the time. So the data was actually kind of important to us, because when we have a rainy day, we're laying in bed,
just so that we're learning how to relax.
Right. Or if you're planning to start a YouTube channel, which we
were
did
not.
So that's actually why our videos sucked in the beginning, and now they're only moderately good now. But by season 4 or 5, they're going to be awesome. So just stick with us.
Stick with us. But now we have to upload videos.
Right. So we needed a reliable data service, things like that. So that's something that you're going to need to gauge for yourself. Can you just get by with just checking email? Do you need the router? Are you only ever going to be at a campground where it's not going to be a big deal? Or are you planning on boondock and remote? So that's another thing to consider, is what kind of internet service you're looking for, what kind of streaming services you're looking to do.
What's important to you.
Right.
And like Doug said at the beginning, don't just watch our video, watch all of the videos, because, okay, this is our 1 year in review. Our 1 year in review is
vastly different from the other ones that we watched.
Than anything else we watched. What we can say.
And also strikingly similar to everyone that we watched.
Right, that too. This is what we can say. We went way over budget. But we spent the money on experience. I mean, obviously there's the stuff that we couldn't avoid, but we spent money on experiences, and I wouldn't trade that for anything.
No,
we don't have a single thing that we regret spending money on.
We probably could have got away with a fewer French fries. I mean, they were good. That's why we bought them.
That's why we bought them. Probably a little less bacon too.
No.
Never less bacon.
No, bite your tongue.
Nature's candy.
No, but I would say overall, I wouldn't trade the RV life to go back to
sticks and bricks.
No. I mean, I miss our neighbors. I miss our friends.
Miss family.
You know, there's a part of your life that, like, it has been your whole life that you kind of walk away from. But I mean, it's the digital age. We can email, we can video chat, you can stay in touch with them. I kind of miss going and hanging out at the end of the block and having a beer with the neighbors and stuff. So that's a little different, but you do make new friends.
Yes.
And actually, one thing that we learned from our friend Mark when we were down in Florida, Mark was camping by himself. He always had 4 or 5 chairs out by his campfire. And we were hanging out one night and said, why do you have so many chairs? He says, Well, where the hell were you going to sit if I didn't have extra chairs? It's an easy way to make friends. So that's actually something we stole from Mark. We've got 6 chairs that are, and we set up extra chairs because if you're walking by and you say hi, hey, pull up a chair, sit down.
Right.
Easy way to make friends.
There's already an empty chair. If there was no chair out and you have to get it, the person is likely to walk away.
Right.
Or say no thank you, or stay there standing, and now they get uncomfortable. So if you have a chair there, they're gonna sit down.
Pull up a seat and grab a beer. Come say hi. Making the friends along the way has been fantastic. We made some amazing friends. That part has been probably the coolest thing. We've traded phone numbers with so many people.
Bathroom buddy. I have somebody saved in my phone as bathroom buddy. I don't know who they are. Doug keeps telling me I need to call them or text them.
Would you?
I'm not quite.
She's not going to.
That.
So bathroom buddy, if you're watching, please text her so that I can stop hearing about this.
I had maybe a little bit too much to drink, and I saved somebody's phone number as bathroom buddy. I make friends in all of the bathrooms.
All of them.
Nashville, Ybor, the Derby, all of the bathrooms. It's my happy place, I guess.
We could have just went to a Kohler showroom instead of driving around
This
the
is
country.
why I need to see a Buc-ee's bathroom. I might never leave. But really, we don't regret a single, I love our life right now. And it was, there's that scary moment when you're getting started and you've worked so hard to buy this house and build your life and do all of these things. And we had trials and tribulations through that too. And really it boiled down to, remember when you were 18 and you thought you had the whole world figured out and you didn't.
The whole thought process was, F it, I'm doing
I'm doing it.
We lived through every stupid decision we've made up to this point, so
F it.
go for it. You only get one ride on this rock, so send it.
And we don't regret it. And I hope to do this as long as possible. Like I hope we can make it last more than the 2 years. We have to get better at our budgeting, but I do. I hope we can make this last longer than the 2 years. We've had an amazing time. The people we've met, the things we've gotten to see, the places we've found.
Oh yeah.
And there's still so much out there.
We ain't even close to done yet.
I know, we've barely left the East Coast. Barely left the East Coast. And
Season 2, we're doing some wild stuff.
Yeah, and this is like an area of the United States that we've traversed so many times. Both of us have family in Florida and Vermont, and we're like up and down the eastern seaboard so many times and made stops so many times in all of these states, but yet here we are doing some of them again and finding completely new places and meeting completely new people, and it's amazing.
So if you've been checking out these videos like we were, I mean, we daydreamed about this for,
oh my gosh, a whole decade,
at least a
decade.
Kept coming up with excuses why we can't. We're too tied in. We got too much going on. We got this. We got coaching, baseball, football,
all of the things.
Work doesn't give a shit.
That's right. They don't. You're just a person, but and everybody's replaceable.
and you're sitting there thinking, oh, no one can do my job like me. Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
No one could do my job like me. The business had my name because I was the business. No one could do my job like me. My cousin's doing the job like he does because he owns it now, and it's running just fine.
That's right. But we had a big eye opener, and it kind of.
We learned pretty quickly with a pretty good slap in the face that people have a shelf life.
So you got to go out and you got to live your life.
Yeah, because one day you're not going to be able to. So all those times that you kept telling yourself, oh, one day I'm going to do this, one day I'm going to do that. Well, guess what? One day you're not going to be able to.
One day is today.
Right. Today is someday. Find your someday. Watch them. Finding our someday.
Keep your daydream.
Keep your daydream. It's like the ground principle for what all of us that are doing for that reason.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their reason. Keep that daydream alive and find your someday. Like make today your someday.
Right. To make today is so important, and we don't know, tomorrow's never promised.
Right. So start your interstate adventure today. Get in the car and go. That's how we started. Our first trip was after work, got in the car and went to Niagara Falls. And now here we are.
And we got there and they shut the lights on.
Yeah, so we turned around and came home. And now here we are traveling the country in our RV because we set our mind to do it and made today our someday.
And we just did it.
Because we were tired of just keeping our daydream alive. And we started living life.
Right. Started living our daydream.
And now we live our daydream.
Right.
So thank you, Mark and Trish, for putting those videos out there, because we followed you guys for a good year before we said, you know what, we're doing this. So
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you. But
And check out Keep Your Daydream. Check out Find Your Someday. Watch everybody's videos because everybody's different. Everybody's coming at it from a different spot. You guys can do it.
But you
too.
can do it too. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Maybe not to this level, but you can do something. Make an adventure. Make an adventure happen.